Welcome into the NFL Upset Picks for week number 7. I am Spencer from Pool Genius, joined by the lead analyst over at Pool Genius. That's Jason Lisk. And we are going to cover our 3 favorite upset picks for this week. I'm going to throw out my favorite. Jason's going to throw out his favorite. And then we're going to go to our BetIQ model to pick out the upset pick that presents the most value given the odds that we have here in front of us. And I want to remind you that we send these 3 upset picks out every week in our free newsletter called NFL by the Numbers. I will link that down below. Handy to have, handy to sign up, that you can get these upset picks. Even if you're not able to watch the video, they're just sent right to your inbox every single week. So let's get into it. Jason, I'm going to ask you first. Which upset do you like as a money line underdog here for NFL week number 7?
Well, I'm going to go over to London and take the London.
Hey, we went over to London last week, didn't we?
Oh, okay. Well,
the model did. Yeah.
That's right.
The model took the Jets,
Almost,
and I wanted to throw it back, so I apologize to the model.
Well,
it
was
clearly the model.
It was a loser, right? But it almost knew enough ball to be 10 yards short of like a field goal attempt to win the ugliest game you've ever seen. So we're going to go back, but this time we're taking the home team, the London Jaguars, a team used to playing in London. You can get this. They're about a field goal underdog. This money line might be somewhere in the plus 140 to 150 range. You want to check around. I think we're going to get Puka Nacua out for the Rams. A big loss for them. I mean, their offense is so much more efficient. So much of that volume goes through him. I obviously still have Devontae Adams, and they have some other players that are going to step up, like Jordan Whittingham, by the way, even though we're in London. I know Al wants to probably go.
Al Michaels thinks it's Whittingham.
And so I do like, with that factor, with the Jags, I think coming off this and catching points. And, they're used to this by now. They go over there every year. They play games over in London. And I do think that it's something they have a familiarity with the process, with where they stay, all that stuff that you build up over time. And it gives you a little edge. And so I do like Jacksonville catching points in London in this matchup.
Yeah, and I'm seeing that. I'm looking around here. Our model has it at 143, plus 143 is the odds here as our consensus. I'm seeing a couple plus 140s, 145 here. We are recording this as of Wednesday afternoon, so definitely shop around for that one if you're looking towards it. And I just want to add a little caveat here that, we're taking these because we believe there's value on the money line, but most of these are usually also playable against the spread if you'd like that, depending where the number's at. So I guess I'll ask you, Jason, do you like the Jags if you're getting that +3 too? Is that say if you're in a contest or something and you have to pick 5 or something like that, would you potentially entertain that?
Yeah, you could definitely do that. Now, if you see line movement that pushes at 2.5, I'm definitely, I think, playing the money line. As long as you're getting that key number, I think you could play it either way. There's lots of reasons. Like, the Rams have had a high yards per completion, high yards per pass, but how will that do? Their pass defense has been pretty good, but I think we can get some regression there. And I think the Rams running game, I think the Jaguars can perform well in that category. So I do look for, and it's just one of these NFC, AFC games where I think we could get a variety of outcomes. And so I do like the Jaguars catching the points or getting the money line in this game.
Yep. And so I am looking at, for my favorite upset pick this week, it's a short upset, but I like it nonetheless, getting plus money on the money line. Minnesota Vikings at home, taking on the reigning Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, who have been exposed in the last 2 weeks. They lost to the Denver Broncos at home, and then last Thursday, a shocker, they lost in the Meadowlands at the New York Giants. So they're kind of reeling, coming into Minnesota to play a Vikings team that's a little bit healthier, coming off a bye. sort of regrouped what they're doing. We still have questions when it comes to quarterback play. Is it going to be Carson Wentz? Is it going to be JJ McCarthy? Does it really matter? They have enough skill players to sort of distribute to there, and getting that offensive line healthy is so huge for them. Hopefully they can get the running game going a little more, which the Eagles can be had on the ground. We saw that last Thursday with the Giants sticking it to them. Um, Also really like that Minnesota defense. The Philadelphia running game has not been able to get going this year. And it's really starting to look like that is more signal than noise. Like early in the season, we didn't know if we were just experiencing a little bit of regression and then they would pop off. At this point in the season, I don't want to say it's safe to assume that's not the case, but there are clearly something wrong with that rushing attack. And I think the Minnesota Vikings can keep them contained, can keep Saquon Barkley contained, as other teams have pretty much all season so far. So I like Minnesota at home here. 2 weeks to prep for this one. Philadelphia just searching for answers comes on the road in a tough environment against a good defense. Give me the Vikings. I'm seeing it plus 110. Shop around for that number. Maybe we'll get some line movement depending on who the quarterback is. But I mean, this is one we talked about. Would you take it on the spread or not? I think I would stick to the money line because the spread is around +2, +2.5. Really don't see, as long as it doesn't move up to 3. If it moves up to 3, I might consider the spread here, but I would just rather stick with the money line, getting that value.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine to play against the Eagles. I think you're still getting a little bit of residue from how, obviously, Super Bowl champ, how they looked at the end of last year, and they haven't duplicated that now for 6 weeks. So I do think you're getting a little value, and I think you're getting value on the Vikings getting healthier and coming off the bye. So I like that one.
Yep. And then our third upset pick for week number 7, we're going to look at the model here.
Yeah.
And we have a couple options to choose from here, Jason. But first, before we grab one out of here, there's one that caught my eye, and I just have to ask you about it. I hate to go there, but the Tennessee Titans, what are we doing anything with them? They're hosting New England here. And we put out an article earlier this week that said it broke down how teams perform the game after their head coach is fired and there's an interim coach in there. Basically, they perform a little better than expected.
Pretty well.
Right?
Yeah, I almost made this my official pick. I decided to go a little safer with a shorter dog because it really is hard to stomach these Titans, right? We've seen it look pretty bad, and it took like one of the most ridiculous games you've ever seen for them to win a game this year against Arizona. That said, yes, we published the data. Here's the data. Since 2010, there have been 33 prior cases. This is 15 years, the last 15 years. 33 cases where a coach was fired in season and had a replacement interim named and played. Those teams went 17-16 straight up. So interim coaches have a winning record in game 1 since 2010, 20-13 against the spread. If we isolate it to those that happened before Thanksgiving, by week 12, so like the firing happens somewhat early in the year, and it's not just a late, we're firing you so you don't get to the final 2 weeks. Like they did with the guy in Denver a couple years ago with Russell Wilson. What's his name? But that happens at the end of the year. But if we look at only those week 12 and prior, 11-4, straight up, and most of them dogs. The money line ROI is over 33% on these 33 games. So we can talk about sample size, and it is small. And then I think the question you always have to ask yourself is handicappers just like, what's real? What do I play? You obviously would never model this, right? It's one of those things where it comes up twice a year. Like you're not going to build a model around this kind of thing, and you're not going to get enough relevant data. Like, are you going to go back 40 years? I mean, so the question is, do we think there's something to this? I'll submit to you why there could be. If the coach is fired early in the year, there were warning signs before the season, and maybe the coach is part of the issue, right? Maybe the players have stopped listening. Maybe there's things going on where it is just a dysfunctional mess. And so just simply having that coach out of the mix may be a positive for a team that's struggling. A different message, right? That could happen. We've also seen this happen in college football. I don't have the numbers there, but we've seen some big upsets when there's been an interim coach named. UCLA Penn State was that. I mean, that's a recent example. So just changing the messenger sometimes, especially if the messenger had been as inept as Brian Callahan. 4-19 against the spread. It's hard to be 4-19 against the spread. And so what you have to ask yourself, we think this Tennessee team's really bad. Are they just mostly bad? It's kind of like the Princess Bride, right? Are you mostly dead or are you all the way dead? Are they mostly bad, but they looked really bad because of Callahan? And now they're going to just be mostly bad, but a little more live or not. Anyway, I think you're probably getting some value with Tennessee, honestly, without Callahan in the mix. Just because by addition, by subtraction. But am I willing to play it? I don't know. I mean, but I'm throwing it out there that I think it's one of those games where I also have concerns that this is a game that Mike Vrabel on the other side has circled since he was fired by the Titans a couple years ago. So you have that unique element. So that scares me a little bit on the other side. You're not going to catch the favorite. Like a lot of times these favorites probably take the team lightly. Oh, they got a new coach. Like the Raiders probably thought, oh, they named Jeff Saturday coach a couple years ago. Why do we even have to prepare? They don't even care. They named the guy off the street coach, and the Colts went out and beat them. So you might get some of that. I think that'll be lacking here. I think the Patriots will be ready to play. But anyway, I wanted to bring that.
I was going to say that as devil's advocate, that if they were facing almost any other opponent other than like the real heavy hitters of the league, I might think differently on that. But since it is Mike Vrabel and New England, I mean, regardless of the fact that the Patriots have looked a lot better in recent weeks, this is back-to-back road games for the Patriots. I don't know. Mike Vrabel's coming for them. Or like we know that it's beyond a narrative now. It's not speculation. Like he said as much. So that's I guess I don't know if that's what gave you pause of why you didn't pull the trigger on this one, but like it is such an interesting clash of what we have going on both sides for this game. But
yeah, it'll be a fascinating watch. I think you could go get any range of outcomes in this game. I do think longer term, it's a good thing for the Titans they fired Callahan, even if
for sure.
I mean, the guy he shouldn't have been back. It amazes me that teams waste time on guys that probably the die is cast. I know he was there only a year, but why would you start off Cam Ward with the situation?
Yeah. I was going to say, and I feel bad for Cam Ward that like he has to sort of reset now, try again, where he could have just maybe started with a solid foundation to begin with. But so let's go back. I do see a pick here on the model. And it was, if the model wasn't going to take this one, I was going to take it myself. It is the New Orleans Saints. I'm seeing plus 195 on the money line here. You could maybe get better odds if you shop around. At the Chicago Bears, what are you seeing from the Saints here, Jason?
I mean, the Saints have been, I don't think anybody's confusing them with a great team, but they've certainly been mostly game and competitive and played better than we expected, because at the start of the year, they were the team. The Titans are what people thought the Saints would be, right? As far as like a mess, like the Saints were expected to be in complete rebuild mode, complete tank job mode. And Rattler has been okay, better than I expected. The Saints have been competitive, at least for the most part. They've been in games. So them going to Chicago, you're getting now this Chicago team in that favorite role. They're coming off the Monday night win, a win that was aided by Washington committing a fair amount of turnovers, and a Chicago team that has benefited from a fair amount of turnovers. I'm going to give you where they stand. Chicago is rating fairly highly because of their turnovers in yards per point and yards per point against. So they are kind of overperforming based on their yards and because of this turnover, the fumble thing. So I think you're getting some value on a favorite who is maybe a little propped up, who hasn't been super efficient, who can be inconsistent, and you're getting a Saints team that has been very feisty at the Bills. Other than that Seattle game where they got the doors blown off, they've been pretty much in games. And so I do like this one. The model likes the Saints catching the points. I like it both with the spread and with the money line.
Yeah, I agree. I really love the spot here, especially a Chicago team that's feeling pretty good about themselves the way they won on Monday night, a game they probably didn't expect to win coming in. It was a good road win for them, but now they have a short week, have to turn around, unfamiliar spot as a home favorite against really, I would also categorize them as an underrated Saints team that's playing better than, their record right now. So I do like this. I do think it is also a spread pick for myself that I might be entertaining in some contests. I like it. The money line too. We can see plus 200 in some spots as well. So those are our three upset picks for week 7. Once again, you have the Jacksonville Jaguars in London, Minnesota Vikings at home against the Philadelphia Eagles, and the New Orleans Saints on the road catching plus 200 on the money line at the Chicago Bears. One last parting question, Jason, before we get out of here. I was entertaining the Bengals on Thursday Night Football before we recorded this. They were on my short list. How do you feel about them on the money line short week hosting the Steelers or plus 5.5 as a spread pick there, since we're talking about underdogs?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard with this Bengals team. They've been so bad. Um,
They have to run the football if they want to neutralize
yeah,
the Steelers at all. That's where the Browns went bad last week. They threw the ball 50 sometimes, and it's like you're not going to
no,
get
and
past the Steelers
that
doing
Steelers
that. Like,
defense had been vulnerable early in the year. Did not look that way, and so I'm not crazy about it, honestly, but watch them go out and do it because what we've seen is these primetime dogs have been barking, probably as much as they ever have. Like, there's probably some narrative that these games are risky. That hasn't been the case, like, over the last decade. Like,
yeah.
Thursday night favorites have been probably performed just as well as anything. But, man, over the last few weeks, Monday night, Thursday night, we've seen dogs galore winning in prime time. And so I think you're going to
Yeah,
get some of that.
there is some short-term bias there, definitely. And we could probably look into that for next week too, of like what the short rest does.
Is
Do the
this the
underdogs
oldest
actually?
QB matchup, by the way? What have we had?
Yes.
Two.
What did oh my god, it was Hayward, not the tight end Hayward, the brother
Uh-huh.
of the really good one for the Steelers, said to Aaron Rodgers, "What is this, the icy hot bowl or what? Flacco versus Rodgers." So it is it will be quite the Thursday night showdown. Should be a fun one, AFC North matchup. I don't know. I haven't decided where I'm going with that one, but yeah, that wraps up our upset picks for NFL Week 7. Once again, if you want to get these every single week delivered to your inbox, you can do that by joining By the Numbers NFL newsletter. We put that out twice a week, every single week. Linked below. Go ahead, enter your email. Great way to get reminders if you can't catch the video of what we're picking each week. So, with that, we wish you luck in your picks for NFL Week 7.